this morning, sun's a bit hazy, checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the face. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm you can count on, opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it, guys. Let's kick this can. Let's do it now. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ron Tyler with the Emergency Management Associates. We're on the air for you 24 hours a day if necessary. We're here for you all the time. Right now, we're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Welcome to our program today. We're glad to have you here. Now, guys, we have quite a bit of information to share with you tonight. We're going to start with what happened in the Philippines 2 days ago. We're starting with the aftermath of that Philippine earthquake. As of right now, we've had over 2,000 aftershocks. 2,000 aftershocks. USGS is showing 5 earthquakes. Total of 5 aftershocks. We've had over 2,000 aftershocks since that earthquake first hit, and there's more every day. More and more aftershocks every day. As I said yesterday, these earthquake aftershocks are going to continue for weeks, maybe years. Weeks, months, and maybe years, guys. This is not going to stop. It's not anywhere close to being able to stop at all. Look at this. They're showing us 5 earthquake aftershocks. 5 of them. That's terrible, guys. That's uniquely terrible. Okay? Again, what we're saying is this. USGS, you need to get your act together. You need to be able to show earthquakes when they happen, especially major events. Major events, guys. That's what we're talking about. If the United States Geological Survey is going to maintain its autonomy, maintain its purpose in the region, or all over the world, they need to tell us what's happening. They need to tell the world exactly what's going on. Now, guys, I want to show you this. Okay, this is quite revealing. Again, they're showing us 5 earthquakes. Look what's happened today. Compared to yesterday when we had over 200 earthquakes, this is over 75, 80 earthquakes today. Just today. Just today. I just tapped out that 50 plus, and look what's happened. 220 plus circles there. We can go out here and this gets to be a little better like this. About 75 aftershocks today. This earthquake is still moving. This seismic energy is moving, guys. Okay, now I want to show you what has happened. This is the key. I'm going to take down this map for the time being. I want to show you what is happening. Okay, again, like I said, this is the key to understanding what's happened. Okay, first off, this earthquake happened offshore from southwest of Mindanao, Philippines. Southwest from Mindanao, Philippines. This was on a reverse fault. Was on a reverse fault. Okay, it moved like this. Moved like this. The bottom of the C4 moved like this. Okay, now again, the C4 did not move relatively a great distance because there was very little tsunami at all. About 1.7 feet or 1.1 meters high. 1.1 meter high. That's 3 feet high. At one point, it was 8 inches above the normal tide level. This is what happened. Now, I want to also show you what happened with the fault line and the plate. The fault line and the plate here. Make this a little bit smaller here so you can see what I'm talking about. The Sunda plate, guys, off coast of the Philippines here, it moved to the east. It moved down to the east. It subducted under the Philippine mobile belt. It subducted under the Philippine mobile belt. Okay. Then you see over to the very right-hand corner here, it's not fully explained right here. That is a Philippine fault plate. The Philippine tectonic plate here. Okay. It is also subducting. It's also subducting. Okay. As I have explained before, there are 7 different tectonic plates in play here in the Southeast Asia region, stretching from upwards of northern Japan all the way down to Southeast Asia, Thailand, Myanmar area, Vietnam, Cambodia, all the way out east to Tonga and Fiji and what is it called? Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, and Samoa, and down to New Zealand. Okay, that huge area, including Australia. 7 different tectonic plates are in play here. One plate subducting under the other, just like this. It's continuing. This subduction is continuing. With all these aftershocks, the plates are still subducting again and again and again. Now, guys, we are also having solar flares. The solar flares are adding to this. The solar flares are actually adding to this. Okay? What happens when we have a solar flare again? I want to make sure everybody understands this because maybe we have some new people here. I want to make sure everybody understands. When we have solar flares, the plasma radiation fingers out from the sun like this. There is a CME, a coronal mass ejection. goes out into space. When that plasma radiation goes out into space, it travels great distances, huh? It absolutely does. It does. 93 billion miles away from the sun is where we are. Okay? Within 2 to 3 hours after that CME happens, the X-ray radiation has already reached Earth. 2 or 3 hours after the solar flare, the X-ray radiation has already reached Earth. The plasma radiation, on the other hand, takes approximately 2 to 3 days to reach the Earth. We are still having solar flares even today. They're very minor C and M class flares, but they're still flares. Okay? Those flares are interrupting radio communications. They're interrupting radio communications, high frequency radio communications with the police, the fire department, the ham radio operators. They're having to deal with it. The communications, it's either garbled or completely knocked out. With that happening, television and radio communications also being messed with. You also may have seen your television screens go either dark or completely be garbled, or there's no picture. That is the radiation that is affecting the radio communications around this planet. That's what happens. This is ongoing. This is going to be ongoing for a while. We have major sunspots on the sun that are firing directly at the Earth. As a result of that, the solar flares continue happening. Coronal mass ejections continue to happen. And as a result, you've seen all these earthquakes. Right now, we have many large 5.0 earthquakes that have happened today around the world. This Philippine plate situation here, the plates are still moving. That's why we're having these big, huge mass of earthquakes, these aftershocks. These plates are still moving inches and even up to 2 inches every time one of these earthquakes hit. That's what's going on. It's going to continue. I promise you it's going to continue for a while now. Does anybody have any questions about that? Any questions? Okay. I'm going to take this down now. With that said, I want to show you the damage from this earthquake that happened Sunday. What I'm going to show you now has no sound. Has absolutely no sound. I will narrate this video for you. One of the reasons it has no sound is the people are speaking Tagalog. Tagalog. That is a Philippine language over there. There are 7 different dialects over there. These people are speaking Tagalog. There, you can't understand what they're saying. We have some English subtitles going across the bottom of your screen, but I want to warn you now. This video has very graphic content. As it says on the screen, some parts of this may be disturbing to some viewers. So if that's the case, make sure your kids are off in some other room if you want to watch this. This may be disturbing some people. Let's play this video. Okay, this is at the beginning of the video here. You hear children screaming because they feel this earth moving. You see it here. Every one of these kids are rocking the same direction. Then that great big huge sunscreen that they had up fell down with the earthquake.
Lingkod lang.
They're asking the kid to sit down. He's low to the ground. That way those kids won't fall down when the earth shakes. Then look at this. As the buildings collapse there, all of a sudden you see a great big huge gray white cloud. Dust and debris is going into the air here. Look at the buildings collapse here, pancaking. pancaking. The facades on the buildings are collapsing. That's what's happening here. A magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck 32 kilometers offshore from West Masim, Sarangani, Philippines. June 8th, just 2 days ago, 7:37 a.m. local time on Monday morning in the Philippines. Sunday night here, 7:37 a.m. Monday morning in the Philippines. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, PHIVOLCS, has since recorded more than 2,000 aftershocks with further seismic activity that is expected even today. Like I said, this is ongoing. Look at this National High School, completely in ruins today. Government figures indicate 45 people have died, 4,887 people have been injured, and at least 17 remain missing. The number of affected people has risen to approximately 197,750 people, 43,716 families across many regions of southern Philippines. At least 25,000 people have been displaced, including around 16,000 people who are sheltering in place in 31 evacuation centers, while many others are staying in makeshift shelters outside damaged homes due to continued aftershocks. Look at all this damage, guys. Unreal. And the damage is continuing. Every time they have an aftershock, the rescuers have to pull away from the damage because they don't want to get caught in the buildings crumbling around them. While some people are sheltering in place in shelters, others are staying in makeshift shelters, even tents, outside damaged homes due to the continued aftershocks. Widespread damage has been reported. 7,866 homes have been affected. 1,596 homes have been destroyed. 6,720 homes have been partially damaged. Infrastructure losses are estimated at $9.2 million US. Damages to roads and other infrastructure is constraining access to affected and isolated communities. Essential services remain disrupted. General Santos International Airport is still closed to commercial flights. Power outages persist in several areas. Access to some municipalities and island communities remains limited due to damaged roads. The Philippine government continues to lead response efforts, with over 2,700 search and rescue personnel deployed and additional teams on standby. The United States is going to be sending disaster recovery teams as soon as they can get the airports up and running again. The Department of Social Welfare and Development has provided more than $3.5 million US worth of humanitarian assistance, while sectoral agencies are working to restore critical lifeline services. 2 days after the magnitude 7.8 earthquake struck, again 32 kilometers offshore from Masim, Sarangani province, along the Cotabato Trench, the humanitarian impact continues to unfold across southern Mindanao, Philippines. The earthquake that had a depth of 33 kilometers deep, which is a very shallow earthquake, has been followed by more than 2,000 aftershocks and growing, ranging from size to 1.2 tremors all the way up to 6.5 magnitude aftershocks. 6.5 magnitude aftershocks is huge. Okay? Again, more aftershocks are expected every day. According to the Department of Social Welfare and Development, according to them, this is not going to stop for a while. It's not going to stop for a while. 197,750 people, 43,716 families have been affected across Region 9, Region 11, and Region 12 in the Philippines, and the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. Updated figures from the National Risk Reduction and Management Council, the NDRRMC, indicate 45 people have died and more are going to be found. 487 people have been injured, while 17 people remain missing. More than 25,000 people have been currently displaced, including some 16,000 people who are sheltering in 31 evacuation shelters throughout the southern Philippines. Although a number of people are staying in evacuation shelters, those numbers have declined. Field reports indicate that many affected families are continuing to stay in makeshift shelters outside their homes due to fear of ongoing aftershocks. These aftershocks have already weakened the structures that have collapsed. They're weakened the structures that have not collapsed also. These aftershocks, some are very powerful. Those aftershocks, if they're powerful, 5.0 larger, they can take down what shelters or what concrete shelters are remaining. They don't want to take the chance of being hurt or killed. They're occupying makeshift shelters, mostly tents, outside the homes due to the fear of ongoing aftershocks. Government authorities, civil society organizations like the Red Cross, the private sector have mobilized to affected cities and municipalities throughout the region. Response efforts are ongoing to reach out to communities that were cut off by damaged road infrastructure. Now, I've got some more videos here to show you. First off, I want to show you another video right here that's going to give you a good example of what's happened here. Again, this video does not have sound. It has some subtitles here. This lady was waiting for her son to be found. General Santos City here. It is hot over there right now. Buildings have collapsed. You see fire departments and other rescue teams working here around the clock, literally. Like this says, earthquakes are near daily occurrence there in the Philippines every day. Churches all over the southern Philippines have been either destroyed or rendered almost immobile. This woman set up a house outside, or set up a tent outside her house because it was difficult to stay in their boarding house. Yes, guys, some of these workers here had to stop and cry because of some things they've seen. All these people in the Philippines are just like you and I. A lot of these people, most of them have jobs, they have families, they work just like everybody else, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters. You see small children here as well. One mother waving a fan in front of her child while the child is attempting to sleep to stay cool. Because, like I said, it's very hot out there. And it's also very muggy. Humidity is a huge problem. They're hiking, I shouldn't say hiking, they're moving building materials out of the area so they can get in there and search for family members and other people that are trapped in the rubble. And some of these homes are being faced with demolition as well. They have to be destroyed because nobody can go in there. Nobody can live in them. Some of these people are trying to get out the things that they have in their homes, and rescue those things they have in their homes that are still be able to work. Look at this cracked wall, guys. That's what an earthquake of this magnitude does. Look at this, guys. It feels like we're really back to zero. This is making me cry. All that we have worked for, our dreams with my wife and child, this is what happened to them. We're really back to zero. These people are real people. That's why I'm showing you this video. When a disaster of this magnitude happens, people are hurt. Maybe not physically, but emotionally and mentally, they're hurt. We saw walls collapsing, floors opening up. Then water and mud began spurting from underneath the flooring. Our apartments are now useless. We have to demolish everything. We need to build again from zero. It would be dangerous to simply repair. The ground is no longer stable. Look at this beautiful young woman here. It's difficult to leave. We're used to being here. It will be very hard to abandon our home. This is where we work, but we need to leave. I don't have a plan yet. Everything's still blank. I was traumatized by the strong quake. We can show you damage all day long. But until you see these people, real honest people out here, trying to do a job to help their families, to rebuild their lives, this is where honestly, the grit and grease hits the road here. This is where the grit and grease hits the road. Now I want to bring it back home a little bit. I went to News 8 today and I called them and asked them if I could use part of their video from people in San Diego. Again, when I was a police officer, I worked with a lot of Filipino officers. One of my buddies, Danny DeGracia, he had many of his relatives, his nephews and nieces there in San Diego. Great people. There's probably 20,000 Filipino people in San Diego City. I'm going to play this video now from News 8 in San Diego, and they'll explain what's going on here with the Filipino people in San Diego. Philippine people are all over the United States.
Yeah, this disaster is deeply personal for many in San Diego's Filipino community, and they are already determined to help those impacted thousands of miles away. A powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck off the coast of Mindanao, the second most populated island in the Philippines, and more than 100 aftershocks have been reported since the quake hit. For many of the more than 200,000 Filipinos who call San Diego County home, the disaster feels deeply personal.
It is very devastating. You know, the way that I found out was scrolling through social media.
Joanne Fields with the API initiative says images of the destruction were difficult to watch.
What I saw was the Jollibee restaurant at the bottom of a building just crushed.
She says the hours following the earthquake were filled with anxiety as people tried to reach friends and family in the region.
I was scared because of the devastation that we were witnessing, and not being able to just call someone right away to find out, are you okay?
Thankfully, she says her family and friends in Mindanao have been accounted for. Now local organizations are turning their attention to relief efforts.
The immediate need that we're hearing is shelter, food, and clean water.
For now, community leaders are encouraging people to support the Philippine Red Cross, which can purchase and distribute supplies locally while assessments continue. Fields says rebuilding entire communities could take years.
There is no easy repair. This is going to take maybe even years for solutions.
Community leaders say they're still waiting for a complete assessment of needs on the ground, but expect local fundraising and relief efforts to expand in the days ahead. I'm Brian White, News 8.
That's News 8, Channel 8 News from San Diego County. This is real. This is real, affecting millions of people over in the Philippines. Millions of people there, guys. Hundreds of thousands just in Mindanao, Philippines by itself. Hundreds of thousands. Unreal. Unreal. Now, guys, I want to go back here to the USGS map again for a few minutes. We want to show you other earthquakes here as well. Okay? Again, I want to advise all of you. The United States Geological Survey is not showing all the earthquakes at all. Heaven's sakes, there are 98 earthquakes just in Indonesia alone. 98 earthquakes in just Indonesia alone. Over 100, close to 100 earthquakes already in the Philippines as well. USGS shows 5 earthquakes in the Philippines and 1 earthquake over here in northern Sumatra, Indonesia, right here. This is a 4.6 earthquake over in northern Sumatra. There are 2.5s, minor earthquakes, 2.6, I shouldn't say 2.5s only. There's 2.0s, 2.9 minor earthquakes. There are 3.0, 3.9 small earthquakes. There are 4.0 to 4.9 and 5.0 to 5.5 earthquakes here in Indonesia. They're just showing one earthquake. One earthquake here in Indonesia by itself. There are earthquakes over here in Papua New Guinea as well. Going over here into Vanuatu area, Fiji, USGS is showing one earthquake. There are 6 earthquakes in this region, 6 of them. This is a 4.8 earthquake here near, I shouldn't say near, this is 266 kilometers west-northwest of Houma Tonga, Houma Tonga. Okay? Down here in New Zealand, there are 34 earthquakes here in New Zealand by itself. Most earthquakes are over here in the North Island of New Zealand, in and around the North Island of New Zealand. Down here on the South Island, there are also a handful of earthquakes here. United States Geological Survey is showing one big earthquake just south of New Zealand. This is a large, very strong 6.0 earthquake here. This is in what they call the Auckland Islands of the New Zealand region. The Auckland Islands of the New Zealand region. Now, guys, look where this earthquake is at. It's on the fault zone. Let's move this fault northward. I want to show you where this fault comes from. That's why I'm moving it north here. Goes through the north part of the South Island here. Then it wraps around on the east side of the North Island, the Tonga Trench. Then it goes up here to Tonga. Now, guys, over here on the eastern side of the North Island here, they are expecting an 8.0 major megathrust earthquake here off the east coast of the North Island of New Zealand. A major 8.0 earthquake for the next 25 years. Possibly could happen any day now. They said it is imminent within the next 25 years. We have earthquakes here off the east side of the North Island of New Zealand here. Let me bring up the map here to show you. Look at these earthquakes here. We have 2 earthquakes in the Bay of Plenty here. The Bay of Plenty is at Catchesmet, just to the north side of the North Island. Actually, 4 earthquakes here. 2 in the outer side of the Bay of Plenty here. This is a 3.31 earthquake here. Just barely to the north of it, this is on the fault coming out of Fiji. This is a 3.2, so 2 3.0 plus earthquakes right here. Then we go down into the Bay of Plenty down here. Here's another one, a 3.0 small quake here. 3.0, 3.9 are small quakes, considered small earthquakes. Then we go down into the North Island here. On land here, Manawatu, New Zealand, 2.68 minor, right here. 2.68 minor earthquake there. Then we go south. Again, I'm showing you what earthquakes have happened here. On that Fiji earthquake fault coming out of Fiji, went right through the North Island here, we have another minor 2.21 earthquake here. Going back towards the west here, a 2.54 earthquake there. Just to the northeast side of the volcano. The northeast side of the volcano here. Let's zoom in here on the volcano right there. It's called Topo Lake, the Topo volcano. That's a super volcano here. A super volcano. Northeast of there, we have a 2.55. 2.55. And northeast from there, a 3.12 small quake. Okay. Down south of Topo volcano, there's another volcano right here. Just northwest of that volcano, it's called Rapaju volcano. This is a 2.38 earthquake there. Like I said, USGS is not showing us this, are they? Over to the east here of the volcano, Rapaju volcano, this is a 2.32 earthquake there. And just south of there, this is a 2.5 minor earthquake there. Then we go further down here to the southeast. This is a 2.6 minor earthquake there. Then south of there, on that same earthquake fault, we come over here to 2.78 minor earthquake there. Okay. Then I want to go further south here. Right down here. This is a 2.38 earthquake there. Okay. That's West Tarahahi, New Zealand. 2.38 minor earthquake there. Okay. Now, again, I want to emphasize over here off the eastern shore of New Zealand here, they are expecting an 8.0 earthquake to hit here sometime in the next 25 years. But now they're saying also, the scientists are saying that earthquake can hit at any time. That 8.0 major earthquake can hit at any time. Again, we have a subducting issue here. One plate subducting under the other here. The Pacific plate here is going to be subducting under the Indo-Australian plate right here. That's what's going to happen here. That's what's going to cause that major earthquake here. Now, I want to go south here. Okay? Between the North and South Island here. Between the North and South Island here. This Manawatu, Wanganui region, New Zealand. This is off in the water. This is in what they call the Cook Strait. This is a 2.28 minor earthquake. 2.28 minor earthquake. South there, also in the Cook Strait, a 2.54 earthquake there. Then on the South Island, on one of the northern tips of the South Island here, we have a 2.27 minor earthquake there. Now, we go down into the South Island here. We have a 2.52 earthquake there. Further south here, I'm talking about right in here. Right there. This is a 2.71 minor earthquake there. Then we come back to this fault line here. The fault line right here. You can see the fault line here. This is a 2.32 earthquake hit there. Going further south here on the same fault line. This is a 3.34 earthquake right there. 3.34 small earthquake right there. Yes, they do have earthquakes here in New Zealand. USGS may not be showing them, but they have earthquakes here. These earthquakes are on this fault line here. This great big huge fault line here. All kinds of earthquakes there. Then over here near the eastern shoreline, not on the eastern shoreline, but near it. Near it, guys. Right there. This is a 2.57 minor earthquake there. 2.57 minor earthquake there. Then we go down here off the southern coast. Now down here on the southern coast, guys, it's very cold. We are approaching Antarctic Ridge down here. We're approaching the Antarctic Ridge here. Right here. Right here. This is the 3.94.0 earthquake right there. 3.94.0 moderate earthquake right there. Okay? We have an island here. We have an island here. Right between that island here and the mainland South Island here is where that earthquake is at. Then the major earthquake is far, far south from there. Far, far south from there. This is a 6.0 earthquake right there. 6.0, very strong earthquake right there. Any questions about New Zealand? Linda Covington is asking me to show you the recent earthquake near Cuba. I can do that. Give me a second here. Give me a second. I want to go north into the northwestern shore of Asia here. As you can see, there are some earthquakes that we want to talk about. Okay. Now let me go back here to pull up earthquakes over in the Caribbean here between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula the other day. Hold on a second. Linda, that is the earthquake there. It's just northwest of Cuba there, and it's right between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula here in Mexico. Right between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico. Cancun, Mexico felt that earthquake. They felt that earthquake in Cancun. They also felt it all the way over in Havana, Cuba, and all the way over into southern Florida. Okay? Any questions about that? Kristen's asking about those earthquakes around the Philippines. All of those earthquakes are aftershocks. All those earthquakes are aftershocks. Aftershocks of that 7.8, 8.4 earthquake. I believe it was a lot stronger. It wasn't 9.0, but it was like an 8.4 earthquake. 8.4 earthquake, guys. And look at this. Look at this, guys. I want to show you this. Australia. USGS not showing any earthquakes in Australia. Well, guess what? We have 2 earthquakes in Australia today. One right there. One smack dab in the northwestern desert of Australia. This is a 2.8 earthquake. This is a 2.8 minor earthquake there in the northwest deserts of Australia. Then we go further south here, down to the southwestern part of Australia down here. Pulling up Western Australia. Pulling up Western Australia. Pulling up Western Australia should be right here. Right here. This is a 2.7 minor earthquake there. 2.7 minor earthquake there in southwestern Australia. Like I said again, USGS not showing it. They never will. They cotton picking never will. Look at all these earthquakes in Indonesia. 95 earthquakes here in Indonesia by itself. Now again, over here in Sumatra, USGS is showing us one earthquake. One earthquake. There are 6 earthquakes here. 6 earthquakes here in Sumatra, going from south to north here. South to north. This is a 3.86 earthquake there. 3.86 earthquake, southern Sumatra, Indonesia. Going north. This is a 3.5 earthquake there. Excuse me. 3.5 earthquake just north of that first one. Going further north here. This is a 4.3 earthquake there. 4.3 earthquake right there. Then we go further north here. This time almost directly north. This is a 4.6 earthquake right here. 4.6 earthquake right there. Interesting how they don't want to show us what's going on here. Offshore here in the Indian Ocean. Again, on that southern plate here of Indonesia, this is a 4.0 earthquake right there. 4.0 moderate earthquake right there. The USBS earthquake, guys, right there, was that 4.6 I showed you just a second ago. USGS has this at a 4.6 right there, just barely south of there in the ocean. This is a 4.3 south of there. Again, going north offshore. Offshore here. This is a 4.0 moderate earthquake. And going one more to the north here, a 3.0 small earthquake there. Just to give you an idea, that entire fault area is moving. It's moving. Those earthquakes are going to move north into Myanmar. See that earthquake fault running out of Indonesia here, off the coast of southern Sumatra? It's going to come up here into Myanmar. We already have 2 earthquakes here in Myanmar. This is a 2.8 earthquake here. North of there, going up into northeastern India, Myanmar-India border, this is a moderate 4.1 earthquake there. USGS not showing it, are they? Not at all. Why not? Why not? Also going right up here, China, Yangtze Mongol Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture, China, a 4.3 earthquake there that they're not showing on the USGS map. Interesting, huh? Then I want to show you this as well. Yes, they're not showing this earthquake that I just showed here in northeast India near the Myanmar border. That seismic energy is going to slide over westbound through the Himalaya Mountains. Through the Himalaya Mountains here. The Himalaya Mountains is the southernmost edge of the tectonic plate in this region. Right there. Himalaya Mountains is the edge of the tectonic plate. Seismic energy moves along the earthquake faults, including the edge of the tectonic plates. Guess what we have here, over here in the northwestern Himalaya Mountains? Here we have a 2.8 earthquake here. 2.8 earthquake here. Not to be outdone, there's another one here as well. This is a 3.0 earthquake here. 3.0 earthquake right there. Now, USGS also doesn't show you a big earthquake here in south central India. South central India here. This is Wadawagagi, Wadawagi, India. 3.0 small earthquake right there. Okay, they're not showing you that either. Then we go into Afghanistan here. We go over here into Afghanistan. Right here. We have a 4.5 earthquake right there. Sometimes USGS will show us 4.5 earthquakes here. Most of the time they will not. 4.5 earthquakes here can devastate these communities here. This is a mountainous region of Afghanistan. Mountainous region of Afghanistan. Back last year, remember the 6.0 earthquake that hit here? 6.0 earthquake that hit here? That devastated this entire region. That 6.0 earthquake that hit right here, just north of Islamabad, devastated this region. Some people here in Afghanistan live in caves. Others live in mud buildings, mud brick buildings, unreinforced masonry. So an earthquake of this 6.0 magnitude, it will devastate and fall. Those buildings will fall. What do you think happened when this 4.5 earthquake hit here today? 4.5 earthquakes can also devastate this region. Moderate earthquakes do moderate damage here in the United States. Can you imagine what a 4.5 earthquake will do in Afghanistan? Someone living in a cave, or even having mud brick homes, having those mud brick homes fall down? Yeah, that's pretty bad. That's very bad. But it happens. Unfortunately, it happens all the time. Literally all the time. Now I want to go further over here to the west. We don't have any earthquakes here in Iran to speak of. None. That might be a good thing right now. That might be a very good thing. Because by tomorrow, if the Iranian government has not come up with a peace deal, President Trump has given Iran until 12 noon tomorrow, or we will finish what we started in Iran weeks ago. President Trump has made a major announcement from the White House regarding the United States policy toward Iran, a move that is expected to significantly impact international relations and national security. The president is signing in a series of new executive orders aimed at increasing pressure on Tehran, addressing what the administration calls a persistent threat in the Middle East. The address from the Oval Office follows weeks of heightened tensions, diplomatic discussions over in Afghanistan and Pakistan involving Iranian moves and actions they have taken trying to take over this region. Iran has been attacking other countries, other states in this region. They've attacked Oman. They've attacked Saudi Arabia. They've attacked Kuwait. They've attacked Bahrain. Everybody here. If Iran does not come up with a peace deal that is acceptable to President Trump, then we will start and end what we started weeks ago here in Iran. The executive actions are anticipated to include sanctions and strategic directives for the Pentagon, the State Department, and all of our military, fundamentally reshaping America's foreign policy approach to the Iranian regime under President Trump's leadership. As he said in the beginning in 2015, when he came down that gold escalator in the Trump Tower, he said he would not allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. He's still saying that again. The United States policy towards Iran is saying Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, not now, not ever. If necessary, we will destroy Iran as Iran is being known today. We're going to attack their oil shipping areas, their refineries, their electrical generating areas. We'll take them down. We'll take their missile capabilities down to the ground. They will not be able to launch any missiles any longer. They will not be able to launch those flying saucers, those drones. Not nothing. They won't be able to lift a hand at all in Iran at all. Not now, not ever. If that Ayatollah, the Ayatollah's son, who is supposedly is in charge right now, if he's still alive right now, being cared for in a hospital or at his home, he probably won't be after tomorrow noon. That's a fact. That's what's happening right now. President Trump has issued an order. He's issued them an ultimatum. They have to come up with a strategic surrender document, a peace document, or we will end Iran as we know it today. That's a fact. You can go over to Fox News, they're covering it. Other major news networks around this world are covering it as well. That's what's happening here. Heidi Pedrick says it gives her the creeps to think about it. I agree. I totally agree, guys. Gives me the creeps as well. Now, guys, why would it give me the creeps? Why does it give you creeps? Over here in Tehran, they had nuclear material. They may still have nuclear material here. They've wasted our time. We've given them about 8 weeks since the last ceasefire. Since the last ceasefire agreement. Iran wants another ceasefire agreement. We're not going to do that. They have until 12 noon tomorrow. We have annihilated Tehran repeatedly. We've gone after their military outposts. We've sunk their naval ships. About 51 naval ships are now sitting in the bottom of the Persian Gulf. We've gone after their military capabilities. They don't have an air force anymore. We've completely destroyed their air force capability. They can't get any planes off the ground at all. The only thing they're launching are drones with weapons on board to go after the United States and other state territories in the Middle East. Iran's goal was to take over the Middle East. Now they're not going to have that chance ever. Not ever again. We're going to prevent that from happening. Iran has had these enriched uranium here that we supposedly buried when we had the Iron Fist here back in October last year during Operation Iron Fist. We took those facilities out. Since that time, Iran has had over 8 weeks where they've dilly-dallied around, given us some propositions that seem good, but they didn't come up with one solid argument why they need to surrender and give us all their uranium, all their nuclear materials, everything. They dilly-dallied around. What I believe has happened, and I think that's what President Trump is worried about, as they've dug down where we bombed them out. They pulled up missiles from the debris. They pulled up enriched uranium out of the ground here. They may still be trying to manufacture a nuclear weapon. We cannot let that happen. We cannot let that happen now or anytime in the future. Already Iran, thanks to Russia and China as well, has an advanced supersonic missile that they can load nuclear material aboard and launch it into Europe and possibly even into the United States. We cannot allow that to happen. Now, I understand. I'm watching this. I'm watching the monitor here. We had as many as 21, 22 people watch our program, which is very unfortunate. 21, 22 people watch this channel. All of a sudden we dropped down to 16, now we have 17. That's very sad. I would have thought that everyone would want to know this. At one point when we were talking about what has happened in the Philippines, we had as many people as 22 people watch our program. I actually thought we'd have more. I thought we'd have more. I give you a lot of information, very important information, trying to save lives here. Apparently nobody's interested in that anymore. Look at Europe. USGS not showing anything happening here in Europe at all. There are earthquakes all over Turkey. Northern Turkey, Eastern Turkey, right here. We have 30 earthquakes going on over here in the Turkish-Syria border region here in Eastern Turkey. 30 earthquakes. 30 earthquakes, guys. Look at all these earthquakes here. USGS shows none. None at all. But they have us believe there's nothing going on. Look at all of Turkey. Earthquakes literally all over Turkey. Then we go out here into the Dokines Islands, just off of Western Turkey here. We go down here to the south part of Greece. There's Crete, Greece. Off the southern shore of Crete, Greece. This is a 2.93 earthquake off of central Crete, Greece here. 2.93.0. Another earthquake here, a 2.4 minor earthquake there. Over here, further to the west here, is a 2.7. It's a earthquakes there. Earthquakes. Look at Greece. Look at Greece, guys. They're not showing that, are they? Not a thing. Not a darn thing here. Now I'm going to go over here. I want you to see what's happening here. See this island over here in Greece? That's a special island here in Greece. Why so? Why is it? What's going on right here? The people on this island are monks. Monks that occupy this island here. We had a 5.1 earthquake that hit here earlier this year. Now we have 30 earthquakes that hit here today. 30 earthquakes that hit here today. Okay? These earthquakes are 1.6 tremors, 1.9, 1.8, and 50 others. Tremors. Most of them tremors. Look at all these earthquakes, guys. Look at all these earthquakes. 1.5. Here's a 2.8 minor earthquake. This is the 1.4. Now, I'm not showing you all the earthquakes. I'm just reporting on what's happened here. Okay? This is a 2.7. Most of these earthquakes are tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? The simple reason is this. When we have storms like this, that only means a large earthquake is coming. A large earthquake is coming. Unreal, huh? It really is. Before I forget, I want to make sure that we announce this here. I want to give Heidi Pedrick credit for this. She just gave us a $50 super chat here. Heidi, I just gave you an EMA sticker in your super chat. I'm also giving you a thumbs up here. Thank you, Heidi, for that. We appreciate it. God bless you, my friend. We appreciate everything you do for our channel. Guys, all of you can also give us super chats here. Okay, you can give us super chats here just like Heidi did. We'd appreciate it. Help keep this program on the air. Thank you so much, Heidi. God bless you for that. So we have almost 60 earthquakes here. Almost 60 earthquakes here in Greece. Unreal. That is just around this one island here. That is just around this one island here. Swarms of earthquakes mean there's going to be a much larger earthquake coming. When you see swarms of earthquakes like this, that means a large earthquake is coming. In the next few weeks, let's see what happens here. Okay? That's what's going on here. Go over here to central Greece. 8 earthquakes. 8 earthquakes here in central Greece. Then we go, actually 10 earthquakes in central Greece. Then we go over here to Sicily. Minor earthquakes and tremors here in Sicily. Down here in central Sicily, this is a 2.1 earthquake. Going up to the north, this is a 1.1 tremor. Going out here in the Tyrrhenian Sea here, 2.1 earthquake at the shoreline of Sicily, the Tyrrhenian Sea. Going further out to sea here, a 2.3 minor earthquake there. Unreal, guys. Unreal. USGS not showing us any earthquakes, are they? Nothing. A 2.3 earthquake here. Okay. Then out here to the northeast, another 2.0 earthquake there. Okay. Now, we go over to the heel of the boot of Italy. We go over here to the heel of the boot of Italy here. Guess what? Guess what we have? Apulia, Italy. Apulia, Italy. 1.3 tremor here. Okay? Now, guys, it's right here. Apulia, Italy. Okay? Then I want to come over here to the volcano. The Vesuvius volcano here. Why is this important? Why do you think this is important, guys? The Vesuvius volcano is still moving. The Vesuvius volcano is still moving. Here we have a 1.0 tremor here. We have tremors here. We have minor earthquakes. And yes, the other day we had a 3.0 earthquake here. The Vesuvius volcano. It's still moving. Then we go up here to the north here. Go up here to the north here. Campi Flegrei here. Campi Flegrei is still moving. USGS and European agencies not showing us anything going on here. They're not showing us anything going on here. But we are having earthquakes here. Campi Flegrei is still moving. Okay. We'll go up to the northeast here. We have 1.8 and 1.4 tremors right there. Okay. Tremors right there. Here's another 1.4 right there. 3 earthquakes there. Then we go up to the north. Central Italy here. Today we have maybe 12 earthquakes here. Maybe 12 earthquakes. Usually we have 20 to 25 earthquakes here. Swarms of earthquakes indicate we're going to have a large earthquake here. That's what's going on right there. Okay. Then we go over here to the south coast of Italy here. The south coast of Italy. Right there. 1.9, 2.0 earthquake right there. Okay. We go over to the northeast here. 1.4 tremor there. Go back here to the west here. 1.6 tremor there. .6 tremor right here. Then we come over to the resort area of Italy over here. Right there. We have 1.1 tremors here. 2 1.1 tremors right there. Then we go into the Alps Mountains. We go up here into the Alps Mountains here. Right there. 2.0 earthquake right there. 2.0 earthquake in Chameau, France. Going further to the north, 1.0 tremor there. Going over into Switzerland here. 1.3 tremor here in Switzerland. Going further into the Alps here, also in Switzerland, 1.6 tremor right there. Okay. Let's go into France now. Or I mean southern Switzerland. Southern Switzerland right here. This is the 1.0 tremor here. And also another 1.5 tremor there. Switzerland's moving, isn't it? Let's go up to the north. Okay. This is Bethel, France. 2.01 earthquake there. Let's go into Germany now. Let's go over to Germany. 4 earthquakes here in Germany. 1.2, a 0.5 marker quake, 1.0 tremor, another 1.4 tremor right there. These are minor. These are minor. Not a big deal, nobody feels them. But these are still earthquakes here. This area is still moving. This area is still moving. Not moving a great deal, but it's still moving. Let's go over into Sweden. Sweden has 3 earthquakes here. Sweden has 3 earthquakes here. This is Lake Vänersborg here. Just up to the north of Lake Vänersborg here, Örebro County, I used to live there. This is a 1.2 tremor here in Örebro County, Sweden. Over in Stockholm. Over here in Stockholm. Guess what? We have another 1.2 tremor here in Stockholm. We go into northern Sweden here. Västernorrland. Västernorrland here. Okay? This is a 1.2 tremor here in Västernorrland. East or northeast Sweden here in Norrland, the land of the north. I used to live up here. I used to live up in what they called Umeå, Sweden. Good old Umeå, Sweden, if I can locate it here on the map. Right there. I used to live here in Umeå. This is downtown Umeå here. We have the River Elbe here. Cuts Umeå in half here. Now over here, I'm going to try to see if I can find it here. Maybe we can find it on the USGS map here. So let me zoom in close up here. Over here in Umeå, they have a city hall here. And somewhere within all my junk, one of my boxes here, this is hilarious, guys. In one of my boxes, I think this is Umeå City Hall here. I have a picture of a polar bear. A polar bear sitting on the steps of City Hall here. A polar bear sitting on the steps of City Hall. Unreal. Unreal. Now, guys, I never thought I'd see a polar bear outside of a zoo. I saw my first polar bear in person in 1976 in Umeå, Sweden. Go figure. Go figure. Over in Finland here. Northern Finland right here. Here we have a 1.6 tremor here. You're not going to see this on USGS map because they're not going to put it here. They don't want to even admit what's going on here. Now, guys, I skipped over England for whatever reason here. I didn't mean to skip over England at all. England had another quake here today. Lately, England has been having some earthquakes here. Right over here. I think it's over here near Birmingham. This is a 1.5 tremor here in England. 1.5 tremor here in England. Up until this year, we have never shown earthquakes here in England at all. Never. USGS never shows them. And this is the first time I've ever seen European agencies show earthquakes here in England. Unreal. That's a 1.5 tremor here near Birmingham, England. Okay? Birmingham, England. I kind of wish Demon Catman was here. He lives somewhere over here east of England here. He lives somewhere over here east of England here. I don't remember the town he lives in. I wish he was here. Demon Catman is one of my friends. I really like the guy. He's a great guy. He and his girlfriend both are great people. Wish you the best, Demon Catman. I know he probably is monitoring this program. He watches this program, but he's not here in person live on the program today. Before I leave here, I want to go to Iceland here. Go to Iceland here. Right here. We have an earthquake here. This is Skalbri, Iceland. 2.1 minor earthquake. 2.1 minor earthquake there. Going south here. Going way down south here near the Reykjanes Peninsula here. Way down here to the south Reykjanes Peninsula. This is another 2.1 earthquake there. Just south there, out in the Atlantic Ocean here, just north of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge here, we have a 2.30 earthquake there. 2.30 earthquake right there. Okay? Just south of Reykjanes Peninsula in the Atlantic Ocean here. Wild, isn't it? Seems like it. Seems like it. Earthquakes out there near Iceland. They are not showing any earthquakes whatsoever on the east coast of North America. None. None in Canada and none here in the United States at all. I showed you yesterday where we have earthquakes here in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, all up and down the East Coast. Again, that's because the Mid-Atlantic fault here is pushing England, or I shouldn't say just England, but Europe and Africa in easterly direction. It's also pushing Greenland and the North American continent in a southwesterly direction. That's why we have earthquakes here on the East Coast. That's also why we have more earthquakes over here along the pneumatic fault that we talked about yesterday. Yeah, all kinds of earthquakes there. Now we have about 70 earthquakes over here in southern Mexico today, 70 of them. Central America, we have 13 earthquakes here. 49 earthquakes here between Chile, Peru, Ecuador, and Colombia here. 49 earthquakes, go figure. Up here in the Gulf of California, the San Andreas Fault is alive and well here. This is a 4.1 earthquake here in the Gulf of California on the San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault runs from Northern California off the coast all the way down here along the coast of southern Mexico, the San Andreas Fault. Okay. Heidi Petrick says her phone has been screaming due to the earthquakes in Washington State. All kinds of earthquakes in Washington State, all kinds of them. Up and down the coast and all over Washington State, also Oregon. Tomorrow we are going to spend our time talking about the Pacific Northwest and the earthquake's there. I'm going to show you plenty of earthquakes. I'm going to show you seismograms all over Washington and Oregon tomorrow, showing you the earthquakes there. Earthquakes are due to the Cascadia earthquake off the coast. Yes, the Cascadia earthquake is going to happen. The Cascadia earthquake is going to happen. But right now, today, the Juan de Fuca plate is pushing the Cascadia subduction zone into the North American plate, making it subduct under the North American plate. That's causing earthquakes here in Washington, Oregon, and also all over California. Not just the Juan de Fuca plate, but the Pacific plate as well. The Pacific plate is subducting underneath the North American fault. California is included in all these earthquakes. Tons of earthquakes up and down the fault zone. Up and down the fault zone. Over here in the southern Cascade subduction zone region, look at this. Right here. 2.3 earthquake here in Trinidad, California. The southern Cascadia subduction zone, guys. That's why. That's why. How about this earthquake right here? Pistol River, Oregon. The 0.7 microquake. Yesterday you had a 2.7 earthquake here in Pistol River, Oregon. Let's go north here. On the Cascadia subduction zone, right here. 1.6 tremor here. 57 kilometers west of Bayview, Oregon. Off the coast of Bayview, Oregon here. It's not the only one here. Not the only one at all. Now, guys, I have something else to say here. I've done my homework here. I have done a lot of homework here. Central Oregon. Central Oregon, guys. Right here. Crater Lake. Today I found out that USGS and the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network have shut down Crater Lake to the public. They shut down Crater Lake to the public. Since last October, they've been shutting down all the seismographs around the volcano. They shut them down. Prior to shutting down all the seismographs, we're seeing earthquakes over here near what is called Fleetwood Cove. Fleetwood Cove is where we could launch boats here onto Crater Lake. It's closed down here until 2027. From 2025 to 2027, the lake is shut down. Fleetwood Cove had a seismograph here. It's shut down as well. We're not getting any data out of that seismograph. Down here on the southeastern side of the lake here, Mount Scott, we had another seismograph here that they shut down as well. October last year, shut it down. Prior to the shutdown, we were seeing earthquakes here also at Mount Scott. USGS was denying it. Oh, we've never had any earthquakes here at Crater Lake. Yes, I heard that statement today from a USGS scientist. Oh, we don't have any earthquakes here at Crater Lake at all. Really? Really? Down here off the southern coast of the lake here, near the central rim of the volcano here, we had another seismograph here called the bunkhouse. Actually was in a somewhat of a hotel here at Crater Lake called the bunkhouse. They shut down that seismograph as well. Now there's something else I need to tell you. Over here, guys, is the summit of the Crater Lake volcano. It's called Wizard Island here. Wizard Island. They have a seismograph here on Wizard Island. Guess what? They shut it down and occasionally turn it back on. But guess what I found today? Guess what I found today at Crater Lake? Yes, guys, Crater Lake. They turned the seismograph back on. They turned it back on. Look what we have here. Look what we have here. A seismogram with information on it. A seismogram with information on it. What does it mean? Look at all these tremors here. The seismograph covers the time between 6 p.m. yesterday evening, and then we can pull it down here. From 6 p.m. yesterday evening, all night, all morning long. Look at all these tremors here. Look at all these tremors. Then over here, just after 10 a.m. this morning, about 10:08 this morning, on this blue line here, you see it? This is the 2.3 earthquake. This is the 2.3 earthquake, guys. What they said today is they have no seismic information that Crater Lake has any earthquakes at all. That the volcano is quiet. Guess what? They lied. This is a USGS seismogram. This is a USGS seismogram from Wizard Island. This shows tremors, and it shows that 2.3, 2.4 earthquake today, just after 10:08 a.m. this morning. Look at all this information, guys. And yet they're trying to tell us nothing happens here at Crater Lake. They inasmuch lied to us. Crater Lake is active. Crater Lake is active, guys. Regardless of what they say, Crater Lake is active. It always will be. It always will be. The summit of the volcano here is at Wizard Island. That's the summit. Okay. I believe the seismograph itself, the building itself, is located down here. I can't get close enough. I believe it's on the southeast side of Wizard Island, right down here. It's out in the open, exposed to the elements, somewhat exposed to the elements. It's out in this grove of trees here. We have access to that information now. They want to play these games, guess what? EMA, Emergency Management Associates, is going to play this game. We know that Wizard Island is now putting out information. We're going to continue monitoring this because all the other seismographs around the island, around the lake, have been shut down. They're trying to blame the Forest Service for not keeping up the Cleetwood Cove dock here. They have a dock here near Cleetwood Cove that allowed boats to be put out in the lake. They say the dock has deteriorated so much that they don't feel safe having cars or anybody hike down this area of Crater Lake to have access to the lake, so they've cut it off. Crater Lake has become no man's land here around Crater Lake. They're not allowing anybody near it now, unfortunately. Does anybody have any questions for me? I'm giving you all sorts of information tonight. Now, guys, USGS did not show this to us, and the European agency just showed it now. Over in Missouri, the central part of the Pneumatic Fault, Matthews, Missouri here has a 1.73 tremor here. Matthews, Missouri. Here we show you the seismogram here from Matthews, Missouri last night. Today they're showing a 1.73 tremor, which means we have more than just tremors here. Tremors and earthquakes here at Matthews, Missouri here. Unreal. Unreal. Also, up in Alberta, Canada, we have a 2.67 earthquake here in Alberta, Canada. 2.67 minor earthquake here in Alberta, Canada. Going up into Northern Territories. Fort Good Hope, Northern Territories. This is a 3.5 earthquake here in northwestern Canada. 3.5 small earthquake up here in Northern Territories and northwestern Canada. Thank you, USGS, for that. We appreciate it very much. Now, again, I want to ask you if you have any questions. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you a lot for being here. Now, I want to leave you with somewhat of a devotion tonight. I'm going over to Deuteronomy here, the 4th chapter of Deuteronomy. Then I'm going over to Isaiah in the Old Testament. Isaiah saw our day. The prophet Isaiah saw our day. Here in Deuteronomy, Moses also saw our day. 4th chapter, verses 29 through 31. It's talking about the last days. But if from thence thou shalt seek the Lord thy God, thou shalt find him, if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. When thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, today, the latter days. Rudy Doss asked the question, do you think Crater Lake has anything to do with Yellowstone? No, I don't. Two completely separate volcanoes. Yes, I understand the Yellowstone used to be over there in southwestern Oregon. The volcano moved. Throughout thousands of years, the volcano moved over into Wyoming and Montana. Okay? Going back here into Deuteronomy here. When thou art in tribulation, and all things are come upon thee, even in the latter days, if thou turn to the Lord thy God, and shalt be obedient unto his voice. We need to turn to God. We need to be cognizant of what he's telling us, what he wants us to do. Reading the scriptures, guys. Reading the scriptures. We're in the last days. We're suffering tribulation all over the place. Be obedient to the Lord's voice. For the Lord thy God is a merciful God. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he sware unto them. He hasn't forgotten us at all. Not at all. Then we go over to Isaiah. Good old Isaiah, guys. I love Isaiah. I love Isaiah, guys. Okay? I'm going over here. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mount of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. He shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not lift up sword against nation. Neither shall they learn war anymore. Isaiah saw our day. Moses saw our day. Let's remember that. Go into the scriptures, brothers and sisters. Go into the scriptures. The scriptures, we're going to find eternal life for all of us and our families. Go to the scriptures, brothers and sisters. Go to the scriptures. The Lord told us, He promised us from the time of Moses until now that if we will learn of Him and follow Him and His ways, He will bless us. He won't forsake us at all. But if those people don't follow the Lord, He will rebuke them. He will rebuke them. Let's be on the Lord's side, guys. Let's be on the Lord's side. Guys, I love you. I love you very much. Please, guys, let's be on the Lord's side. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. May God be with you until we meet again. I promise you we will be back here tomorrow evening, same time, same station, sometime after 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, with another episode of Emergency Management Associates. May God bless you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side, guys. Take care. God bless. See you soon. Good night.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard, So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better, bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate